nerds, my name is Nikki and I'm Team... So, the war between DC and Marvel still wages to this day, especially this year where they both conveniently came out with movies dealing with similar subject matter. And while it'd be interesting to explore this new trend of publicly conscious superheroes, we're not gonna do that. Too many people doing that, too mainstream. Instead, we are going to explore DC and Marvel's approaches to storytelling, how they differ from one another, and if one is indeed better than the other. Also, I'm going to qualify here that we are only going to be talking about the cinematic universe, such as the movies and the TV shows and stuff, because oh boy, am I underqualified to talk about the comics. Also, last warning. Marvel has great characters, and I mean great. I'm not just talking about their whole heroes that need tissues for their issues shtick, nah. I'm talking about their real subtle characterizations. Let's talk about Tony Stark, just in general. He leaks personality, not just because he's an arrogant, self-serving jerk who's still trying to do something good for the world, but the way that he words things, the way that he moves, it's all so specifically Tony. He's always standing just a little bit slack. He's always fiddling with something with his hands, or just in general. He's got like all these hand gestures, and he's always thinking 2 steps ahead in any given conversation. There are very few times in the movies where he's actually completely focused in the present, and those happen when he's mad. I mean, did you guys see Civil War? He kind of like almost killed 2 of his friends in that movie. It was a little intense.
Just a tad.
Just a tad. Like, I feel like he overreacted like a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little
like
bit.
That
Like, you
much.
just need this much. Like, this much. This. Stop having fun. This is the area in which Marvel shines. Like a sun. DC, on the other hand, draws strength from the opposite. They create characters that are blank slates, templates, easier for us to project ourselves into if we want to. I mean, not to say that any of us are impervious to bullets, rich or perfect, looking at you, Clark Kent, but they create characters without little character quirks because their focus lies more with the plot. Let's take a look at Clark Kent. What do we know about him? He's an alien. Cool. Cool. Orphan. Superpowers. You know, who isn't? Do we know if he watches Game of Thrones? No. Do we know if he listens to AC/DC or if he's more of a Taylor Swift guy? No. Do we know if he likes Twinkies? No, but I have a pretty good guess, but it hasn't been confirmed yet, so I'm gonna wait before I put it on the wiki. This, I believe, is a great mechanic that allows the viewer to take control of the plot in their own way. They get to decide if Superman watches Game of Thrones, listens to Taylor Swift, or, most importantly, if he eats Twinkies. The too long didn't read of it is that DC seems to leave their characters and their plots to some extent purposefully ambiguous so as to let the viewer make their own judgments about it. This is more so a comment on where Marvel falls short in comparison to DC, but Marvel doesn't really do settings as special snowflakes. Where with characters they shine, in setting they kind of lack. I've never really identified with a setting in Marvel like I have in DC. Not even at the end of Daredevil Season 2, and they were trying then. I mean, let's take a look at what we got here. Space, future space, New York, past New York, Russia, or something, small New York, other small New York, more New York, and man, what is up with all the protection for New York? Come on, Stan, there are places that exist other than New York and space and maybe Russia. As a Chicago local, am I predestined to die in the event of a massive alien invasion because Cap has something against deep dish? Unfortunately for DC, their strength is also their weakness. They leave too much up to interpretation. So much so that it comes off as lazy at times. We are given the bare facts about these characters and nothing else, and I feel like for the entirety of Batman vs Superman, the only guy that I could be like, yeah, I get that guy, we relate to each other, brother, sister, man, was Clark Kent's boss, being constantly peeved that Clark was skipping out on him, and like, seriously, why hasn't he been fired yet? At some points, I feel like we just need more explanation. Like, when Batman and Superman are facing off at the end of the movie, and then Superman's just like, my mom's name is Martha, and Batman's like, hold up, now. You two? Okay, cool. Plenty of moms just happen to be named Martha. What's up with Superman's mom being named Martha that like got you, Batman? I'm not saying that the justification doesn't exist, just that it wasn't given to us. Also, At some point in the movie, Batman inexplicably has a vision of a dystopic future in which Superman rules with an iron fist. So are we just not gonna talk about that? Oh, I gotta go beat Superman because he's gonna take over the world. Okay, cool, Batman, but since when are you psychic? Explain or digit, DC, no in between. For all of their character and plot prowess, Marvel still seems to lean on the crutch of wit, which seems like a weird thing to criticize in a superhero movie, but hear me out. Nowadays, the quickest path to characterization seems to be how a character might joke about the situation that they're in. And Marvel capitalizes on this. I mean, try to remember the last time you went to go see a Marvel movie and didn't have a one-liner to obnoxiously repeat to your friends for the next few weeks. You can't, can you? Now, this isn't something that Marvel's bad at. They excel at it. It's just that when you use it to the extent that they do, it stops being a mechanic and becomes a language of sorts, which kind of cheapens its effect and hinders the suspension of disbelief. DC superheroes tend to either be OP or wimpy. There doesn't seem to be much of an in-between. I mean, on the one hand, you've got the most powerful creature to ever walk the planet fighting alongside the richest. And on the other hand, you've got a guy who runs fast and a guy who talks to fish. Now again, this isn't a bad thing. They handle those characters really well. It's just that I have to wonder if it's a bit counterintuitive to their intrigue approach. If that's what they're going for anyway, I don't know. Food for thought. All in all, I'm just sitting here nitpicking at two comic greats. I mean, I really had to reach to find bad things to say about them, and even at that, I kind of felt icky doing it. Like, bleh. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other, it's just that they approach things in different ways. If you're more of a character person, Marvel's where you want to be. If you're more of a plot person or you like thinking about your movies, DC's got you covered. That's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and special thanks to Sean who was behind the camera. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you need something to comment about, tell me. DC or Marvel, and why? Do you agree with me or not? Just tell me. I need to know. I need it. And if you like my face and the sound of my voice, no one blames you. Click the links in the description to be taken to my Facebook, my blog, wherever I'm at. I've also got a couple of things published. You should check them out. I worked hard on them. And don't forget that as you go through this week that you have a great God. He is with you every step that you take. Till next time, nerds.